I took out my braids to do my hair for this video, and I think I can pull off a middle part? Since when? Yo, someone tell middle school me. What's up, guys? It's Vera Nay. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. At long last, we're doing it. A couple months ago, I do not even know what month it was because it feels like March 660th at this point. I did a video showing you guys how I go from getting a book idea all the way to like getting it edited, getting it everything, like getting it ready to publish. And then I was like, do you guys want to see the second part of everything? Like how I publish, how I do all that stuff. And y'all said, yes, please. And then I didn't do it for a long time. I'm doing it now. So sorry. Good things come to those who wait. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. This is everything that I do to publish a book from the time I get my final edits all the way to release day. And the first step is formatting. So I just wanna give advice right away. Format while you're writing, no matter what program you write in, whether it's Scrivener, Google Docs, Microsoft Word. And by that I mean have a chapter heading every time you have a new chapter. Make sure you're doing like even spacing in the same font all the way throughout. Make sure you're doing a paragraph break every time someone new speaks. Your dialogue should all be on separate, every time you change the speaker, the setting, the time, the scene, like you should be doing paragraph breaks. Don't just write freehand, because then you are going to have an absolute nightmare on your hands when you go to format this for self-publishing. You're so much better off just doing it as you go. Originally, I got these from DIY Book Formats. Bethany Atazada did a really, really good video on how to format. I have taken what she's taught me and just completely changed a bunch of it and like made my own system. And again, I can go into detail about that in a video if you guys would like. I have some resources on that coming, don't worry. And I also link the templates in the description from DIY Book Formats, and I kind of, like I said, manipulated them, made them my own. And the reason this is the first step is because everything else from here on out, when you're doing the self-publishing process through Kindle Direct, and with cover artists such as mine, you need a page count. And if you take your unformatted, unindented Microsoft Word document, you might have 50 pages of a book, and then you format it out how it would look, and you'll have 300 pages. So you need to know how many pages this book is going to be. You need to add like the cover page and the information page and the author page on the back and the this and the that and whatever, because you never know when you put it in a book format where like your document pages, like your 8x11s, are going to turn into like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, and there might be a space, and then there might be a page, a blank page because the chapter ended and you go to the new page. So you never know until you plug it into a format template how many pages it's going to be, and that's something you have to know for every single step going forward. So number one, format it as you go. Plug it into a formatting template to make it look more bookish. Do whatever you gotta do. Check out the DIY Book Formats in the description. Really helpful. That's step one. The second step for me is commissioning a cover from my artist. My artist is spectacular. Their information is also linked in the description. Did I say I would link the formatting templates in my bio? Anyway, I like to commission my artists if I'm gonna do fan art, if I'm gonna do a map, which I did in my Civil Blood Anniversary Edition, if I'm gonna do, the cover, whatever. I like to commission my artists way ahead of time, like while edits are still going on, if I can, because like I said, you need your page count, only because I want to give them an abundance of time, and I want the only delays to come from me and my stupidity. So with my particular artist, again, everything's gonna be different, and my artist is linked in the description. If you like my covers, go hire them, they're fantastic. My artist requires a couple different things. So I make Pinterest boards for all my books. I send them the Pinterest board. I send them themes, motifs, everything like that, kind of, because my trilogy has very specific motifs and themes. If you've been on my Instagram back in November, I was talking all about my themes and motifs and things like that. And I also will send them like the back cover blurb. I send them the page number, a full-on summary, so they have a general idea of the vibe, because again, the cover, very important. Give me this. Get out of here. Look at the book. You need to know what it's about, right? So you look at this, and you're like, this is creepy, full of blood, something crazy is going on. Sure. And I also let them know what size I want. By the way, typical trade paperbacks are 5x8. This is a 5x8 book. So just so you know, by the way. Step 3 is uploading the manuscript into Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP. If you have an Amazon account, you have a KDP account. I will link the actual website in the description, because you just go there and use your Amazon login and boom, there's your account. And you're gonna click create new title. So I'm gonna try to screen record or at least screenshot the process from here on out. So just be paying attention right here. This is where I'm going to show you how to do this. You go to paperback details. Now I always use the back cover blurb that I've written as my description part. But you can go into more detail here if you'd like to. This is what you see when you search a book and you click on it on Amazon, that little thing you read, this is where that is. So if whatever you want your potential readers to see when they click on your book first thing, that's what this needs to be. Make sure you click that you have the rights to publish. Unless you don't, then you need to reevaluate what you're doing. Don't try to publish a book you don't have the rights to. Thank you very much. We're gonna go to the next page, which is paperback content. I always get a free ISBN from Kindle Direct. However, if you want to publish on the other sites like Barnes, Ingram, etc., you cannot use the KDP ISBN over there. So you'd need to buy one that can be used across all versions and all retailers. And you need to make sure that once you get that ISBN that you plug it into your manuscript, because you have a page, I'll put the page right here, that you have to put the ISBN into. Accidental Evils came out 2 days late because I forgot to take the dummy ISBN that I had, which was like 00999, whatever. I forgot to take that out and put the real one in the manuscript. So they had to delay my publishing 48 hours so I could fix it, and they had to check it. It was a nightmare. Cross all your T's and dot all your I's, y'all. It gets easier, but this was my first self-pub, so this was a learning journey, and then I don't know what happened with my second self-pub. Go watch my video from the beginning of October about why I left my publisher if you don't know about that. It's something. So yeah, then you select how you want it to look. I'm gonna put pictures here because I don't have the old, like first, give me this. The first proof of Civil Blood was cream. This is white. This is white. The first one was cream, and they did not look well together. Like, they didn't go together. Once you upload, then you plug the manuscript in. And then once you upload it takes a minute for the system to process it. It's gonna like take a while, and then you wanna launch the previewer to make sure that everything looks good. Even still, there can be things, which is why a step a little bit later is really important, is proofs. It kind of shows you like, hey, this is going to be kind of cut out though based on the way that we create physical books. This is for the physical paperback. The Kindle ebook is a little bit easier. They just kind of plug it in and you just kind of scroll and it's pretty much fine. Like, a lot of the formatting stays the same. But it's the actual printing and like stuff going into the spine right here, like that kind of stuff, or like stuff coming off the edge. Like, you see how high up this is in my formatting, and it was a problem when I had to actually like adjust the sizing of it, because like this one too, like they're so high up, but they were going off the page prior to that. So that's why you have to launch the previewer and make sure that things are within the little bleed margins. And then you see that spot right there that says upload your cover. So if you don't have your cover yet, you're gonna just have to wait, obviously. You can put a fake one in, like you can make like a fake one on KDP and like plug it in, but just to kind of see what it looks like if you want. Next up is paperback rights and pricing. I always do worldwide territories. I don't know of any reason not to. Pricing and the royalty amount is really up to you. I always recommend doing expanded distribution though, because if libraries or like stores potentially want to make large orders, they do that through expanded distribution, as far as I'm aware. At least my library does. And if you don't do expanded distribution, you don't get to, they can't do it. So I always do it, and that can mess with your royalties. Like, you have to do a certain amount. The book has to be a certain price for them to be able to do expanded distribution, and because of that, you get a certain amount of royalties. Like, I did my best not to get any royalties on the anniversary edition of Civil Blood, but because I did expanded distribution, I had to put it at a certain price and allow a certain amount of royalties. I think it's like $1 per book. So that's really up to you. It does give you general ideas and like general, based on the page number and like the category and stuff. You can click that little eye and it will kind of tell you like, this is what you should price it at, but it's up to you at the end of the day. I always kind of look at my peers and be like, what are other self-pub like YA novels going for right now? And then the next step, you get your cover, and you do want to make sure if you are publishing a paperback as well as an ebook that you get an ebook cover, which is just a photo, it's just the picture, and then that you also get a PDF of the full front, spine, back of your paperback. That's what you need. So if you hire, I want you to know, I've never had this issue, but I know people have. If you hire an artist to make you a book cover, they are making you a full cover, front, back, spine, like everything, so that you can PDF that, and then at Amazon they wrap your book in that PDF. Like, this is what my artist designed, the full thing. Whereas obviously the ebook is just the cover, but you can't just put a picture in there and expect a book to pop out. Do you know what I mean? Like, a full-fledged 3D book needs a full-fledged 3D PDF of a cover. So once you've done all that, and it takes, you know, however much time it takes for that to all get done, then you can request printed proofs. You do not get Prime shipping if you have a Prime account on your printed proofs. You pay for those bad boys. They're at cost. Once you put the price, once you put all the information in on the second page, the paperback details, it'll tell you how much it costs to print, and then you can get those proofs at cost. And when you get a proof, well, first you'll order the proofs, and it'll come, usually, it'll be like, okay, I'll see you in 3 weeks. And I'm like, oh, great, I'm gonna wait 3 weeks. And then it usually comes in like a week. It's not that serious. But I live in Florida. I think they're produced in North Carolina, South Carolina. So that just might be because I'm close to them. However, you're gonna get your proof. It's gonna come like this. So it's gonna come with this big dude on it that says not for resale, which, you know, some people hate that. You know, they're like, oh my God, the cover's on this. I like that. It's just like, I know that this is a not ready baby, right? So you know, you get your proof. My advice, read through it. I am a Post-it bitch. I love me some Post-its and some little sticky flags and some highlighters and some red pen, and I read this through. I put my notes down. I go into my manuscript in the formatted document that I plugged into KDP. I fix it. I plug it back into KDP. I launch the previewer again, take a look at it. If I add and subtract things, like for example, I had to get about 4 proofs of Civil Blood because I got the very first one. And originally I put the first 2 chapters of Accidental Evils as the bonus content. And then I changed my mind and I decided to do a glossary of spells and terms. So I had to change the whole thing, and I had to mess up the page count, and my artist had to help me again. And then I decided to add a map. So then I had to get a proof to make sure the map looked good, and I had to get a proof to make sure that the spell glossary looked good, and then I had to make sure that everything was still spacing out the way it was supposed to, and that chapters weren't running into each other on the same page. So it's very important that you go over your physical proofs with a fine-tooth comb, because Kindles are one thing. If Kindles get messed up, people are usually like, whatever, I bought it for $3. I don't care if it looks a little wanky. Wow, okay. But these go on shelves, right? So if you open this and it looks, is this one messed up? Let's see. Oh, this is an old one. So this says preview the first 2 chapters of Accidental Evils, a sequel to Civil Blood. And yeah, you can tell like there are some issues. So like there's a poem and then there's just a blank page because there's a chapter break, but instead of me putting the chapter right here, it did a blank page. And like, you know, it's certain stuff like that you don't know until you physically have the book, which is why my first ever publishing experience was so bad, because I never got the physical book until the book was already out, and there were so many issues that there was no way to fix because I didn't know I didn't have the physical book in my hands. That's what I use my proofs for. But if you're not doing all that kind of silliness and you get one proof and you're happy with the way it looks, your next step, in my opinion, in my experience, you want some advanced reviews. You want some people to be like, hey, I'm gonna send you an advanced free copy of my book if you will read it and review it for me so that I can use the reviews for promo. So, let me tell you a story about the Accidental Evils ARCs. I got 5 people to read and review Accidental Evils ahead of time, like this time last year probably. I was like, hey, and I didn't have a cover yet, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna send you the book. It was all black. I think I have a video somewhere. I'll try to insert it. But I was like, I'm gonna send you these proofs, top secret, like don't tell anybody. Read it, send me a review. Great. So like I said, you don't get Prime shipping on these. So I ordered 5 of them at cost. I think they were $5 each to make. So I spent $30 to get the books. Fine. Maybe even $35 with tax. And then I took them to the post office and I spent $45 to mail them out because I did not know about media mail. If you are sending any media, books, CDs, magazines through the USPS, you can ask to send it media mail. It's a lot cheaper. It's like $2 rather than $9 a piece. Don't make the same mistakes as me. Ask to send your proofs media mail. Please. If you need more like insight into that, I posted a how much did self-publishing cost me video last year before, and it'll tell you what I did and why it was dumb. So go look at that. I did not send proofs out of the Civil Blood Anniversary Edition because the book already came out and I already had plenty of reviews for that, so I didn't need them. Of course, with my third book, I'll do the same thing I did with the second book, and I will send out proofs to advanced reviewers who I can trust, who will write reviews for me, and they'll have a free book out of it. It's a very nice system, and you should definitely take advantage of it. Take advantage of your writing community around you on social media or in your life, and have them scratch your back, and then you'll scratch theirs. So you send those proofs out, you send the media mail, you make corrections based on reviewer feedback. This is important. If they say, hey, you think your proof is fine, but they say, hey, I noticed the typo here, or hey, I noticed that this chapter break is weird, or this isn't italicized and it's supposed to be. Make those corrections. Perfect. Get another proof if you want. Again, this is up to you. It is technically free to publish on KDP. I mean, at the end of the day, you're paying for the editor, you're paying for the cover design, you're paying for any promo you might need, you're paying to send out the advanced copies, and you're paying for the proofs that you get back in return. But this is the investment that you make when you decide to self-publish and you have full control over everything. And let me tell you, it's worth it. Do I want to go into marketing right now? Sure, why not? So technically I've released 3 books at this point. I've released the same book twice, and then I released its sequel. So I am pretty familiar with running like a marketing campaign because I've run mine all 3 times by myself. So what I will do is I will sit down and I'll be like, what day do I want this book to come out? And I will go back 60 days usually. So 2 whole months of promo. And I'll kind of pull different things. So like my very, very first one, I think I might have the picture of like, I got like calendars from my work and I just set it up. My second one, I did the same thing on like a big calendar, but I just kind of set it up and I was like, okay, so we can do this here, we can do this here, we can do this here. And I'll pull quotes from the book and everything and just kind of like map it out. And then I use Canva to create images and graphics and stuff. And they have gotten a lot better every time I've done it. I'll tell you now, if you're not great on Canva, it's not hard to get better. You can also hire someone to create promotional material for you if you want, and just kind of schedule it out. And my big platform at the time, because I hadn't gotten deleted, was Instagram. And so I made my promo very Instagram oriented, and then I would share it on Twitter and Facebook. Like I wouldn't make specific promo for every single site. I think next time, if TikTok is still a thing, I'll make promotional TikToks. Yeah, I write myself out a schedule. And honestly, like full disclosure, this is what I do at the, like before every month begins as well. I like decide what my theme is gonna be. Like I've been doing this the last couple months, what like my themes are gonna be for the days of the week on Instagram. And then I kind of design the post. And then, so then my feed looks like coherent and nice. And there's a theme to every post. It's kind of same thing to promote yourself. I also, because at the time my first book came out, I had a blog as well as this channel. I integrated blogs as part of the promo and videos as part of the promo. So I would talk about behind the scenes stuff. I would talk about the evolution of my covers, or kind of like how I named my characters, or like fun facts about the characters, and kind of just integrate all that kind of stuff. Again, Instagram stories is also a great way to promote in a different way, because you know, you can use the music feature on Instagram. I would take songs from my playlist that I write to for the book and post them on my Instagram stories every day, and kind of like have a running highlight on my page of all the different songs inspired by the book. And that actually, a lot of people were like, this is really cool. I like knowing that like this inspired this, like this song goes with this scene. And I was like, yeah, dude, like me too. That's why I do it. I love seeing that kind of stuff, like the behind the scenes of how the writer gets to a certain part, or like a certain plot point or something like that. So there's tons of ways. I can go like full in depth and like show you guys how I plan promo or something. If you want me to, just let me know. But I think that's a really important part. Like once you kind of get everything situated, and you can do this while this is going on too, like while your book is out with your reviewers, you can start doing this. While you're waiting for your cover, you can start doing this, because you've already written the story, and the story is the bare bones of what you need for promo. You do want to do a cover reveal, you do want to do a release date announcement, and like that stuff you may not know yet. However, the final step is releasing it. I'm gonna give you a word of sage advice from someone who's published with Kindle Direct twice in this year of our Lord 2020. Hit that publish button 72 hours ahead of when you actually want to publish. It tells you that it can take up to 72 hours. And I was like, no, it won't. Check this out. Accidental Evils was scheduled to come out on March 15th, 2020, because this is heavily influenced by Shakespeare's Julius Caesar and the Ides of March is March 15th, and it's like a big date in the Julius Caesar. I was making a Shakespeare joke because I'm a fucking nerd. My ISBN was incorrect, so it didn't come out until St. Patrick's Day. Ruined my whole promo bit about Ides of March, beware the Ides of March, beware the Ides of March, and then it didn't come out on the Ides of March. So that was step 1. Step 2, if you didn't see my video, the beginning of October, I went to publish this bad boy on October 1st, which was the 2-year anniversary of its original release, the day that my contract ended with my original publisher, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do to give up the rights, so it didn't end up coming out to October 6th. All my promo that I planned, 10:01, 10:01, 10:01, 10:01, it's like 10:01:20, it's like 10:10:20, it's like a whole thing. And then it didn't come out. So it hit publish 72 hours ahead of time. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It's gonna come out early. No one's gonna know unless you say something. At least it'll be ready on the day that you said. And then, I know it sounds like you did a lot of work before the book even came out. Guess what? You're not done. Because once the book comes, it's very important to hype the book up before it comes out so that your release day is like really good. But you still need to be promoting it. You still need to be promoting yourself. You still need to be talking about it because a lot of books come out a lot of the time and people forget. So you got to keep promoting. You got to keep talking about it. And you should be proud. That's awesome. Like putting a book out, even, I know there's a lot of like, I think it's kind of going away, but there's a lot of stigma around self-pub. Because when I first published and I published traditionally, everyone was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to be a writer. I want to be a writer. That's so awesome. Wow, you did it. You got published. And then I put out my own book and it's arguably way better than the one that got traditionally published. And no one cared. No one cared because it wasn't like traditional. It was like, you did it yourself. And it's like, well, yeah, but like I spent a lot of money and time on this and it's actually pretty fucking good. So there is a stigma, right? But I think it's kind of going away because I think a lot of us realize that like, the publishing industry is shallow. They only talk about right to market. The publishing industry is right to market. If you don't know what that means, it's like we write what's popular right now. We don't put much thought into it. We just go, and then we put it out and it's good. And a lot of the time, the reason that things are so trendy is because one thing gets traction and then right to market starts and they all are like, oh, we need another book like this. We need another Twilight. We need another Hunger Games. We need another this. And that's what happens. So the only way to really write whatever the fuck you want is to put it out yourself, in my opinion. And I don't know about you, but I want to write whatever the fuck I want. I really don't think that HarperCollins would have wanted my small town Southern Gothic paranormal romance between the grandson of a vampiric cult leader and the youngest daughter of the only witch coven in existence with a healthy dose of demonic possession and religious trauma thrown in. I don't think they were scrambling for it. I don't think Penguin wanted to give me a 6-figure deal for it. Like, I think it was gonna not do well in the traditional industry. So I just put it out myself. But I could be wrong because Tracy Wolff and Anna Todd are both bajillionaires and they have movie deals out of their books that are terrible. So like, I don't know, follow your dreams, guys. I don't know what the hell the publishing industry wants, apparently. But yeah, that's my process. That's how I go from, you know, the final edits to publishing day and everything in between and how to use Kindle Direct. And again, I can go into detail about formatting with the DIY book formats if you want. That is linked in the description along with my cover artist's information, along with Bethany Actizada's how to format video. And what else was I supposed to link? Oh, the actual Kindle Direct publishing website. So all that's in there, down there in the description. Don't be weird. In the meantime, I make new videos every single Tuesday. Come back next week for something that's fun. I don't remember exactly what I'm posting next week. I don't even know when this video is going up. Time is an illusion. 2020 isn't real. See ya.